Bro, I'm telling you, they don't care. They don't care. I know men personally who have waited 3-4 years to one girl, and they did, and they dipped right after it. It doesn't matter. The longer, girl, it does not matter. It doesn't matter.
All right, girls, I have one of my girlfriends, and we're trying to figure out what's the best way to ask if somebody's single. This guy, like, I know he's being respectful, and what is the right word to use? Professional, that's it. And I don't want to be like very masculine and be like, hey, are you single? So what the do I do? Like, I don't know. He's coming back a third time. I've never had that happen. She's asking ChatGPT because what the heck?
So do you go home and relax after all of this? Or is there somebody waiting with a list of house projects?
No, that's so lame. I can't. Guys, you need to help. Come on. We can't have ChatGPT over here telling us.
I want a boyfriend, but I don't feel like dating. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, it doesn't make sense.
Listen. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I was like, yes, absolutely.
Yes. Okay. Listen, I want to be in a relationship. Snap my finger right now. He's next to me. But I don't feel like, nor do I want to spend the energy dating, texting, playing it cool, looking perfect. Because that's like 3 months of just consistent trying to make someone like you.
Like, really exhausting.
It's a lot.
So many dates, and then you have to decide when you can, take the next step. And then
maybe this is only for us, and Chris can't understand.
So pessimistic.
Because do you know how long it takes us to get ready for a date?
Probably a while, yeah.
A very long time. It's exhausting.
Yeah.
So I'm just like,
it's a lot of effort for us.
You have a lot of these women that are demanding that the man be 6 foot, 6 figures, 6-pack, but then, they don't really have a whole lot that they bring to the table, but a huge body count.
So I've definitely been seeing this trend of men not approaching women anymore. And I want to figure out, what reasons do y'all think that's happening? Like, do y'all think it's because of them being scared or intimidated, or do y'all think it's because of, the man-hater culture? Like, what is going on with that? Because I hear, men will approach who they want, men will go get who they want. But I feel like even with that being the case, a man could be like, oh, I want that one. But they still are not going to approach. And I want to know why. I genuinely want to know what reasons it could be. And I want to know mainly from the male perspective, what could be going on. Now, I'm not complaining because I'm not really looking anyway. But I'm talking about, on everybody else's behalf, who may want to get approached.
What's going on, fellas? Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below. Let's get back to the video. And a lot of these guys are seeing what relationships look like today versus what relationships used to look like. And they're like, oh man, I don't think I want to be part of this. I don't think I want to get into this. And really, honestly, and truly with but the way some of these women be quote unquote standing on business, I can't really even blame them.
Here's the crazy part. I literally have to find a stranger. You have to find a stranger. We have to find a stranger who will then eventually care about us, and we will care about them the most in the world. I have family and friends who love me. They love me just as I am, for who I am, on the inside. I just spent a week visiting my friends. They just had a baby. I came back. My sister picked me up from the airport. We had dinner together. Love my friends, love my family, love spending time with them. But their family and friends, and this third thing, relationship, romance, whatever you want to call it, is supposed to be the closest, most intimate relationship, yet I gotta start from nothing, from zero. A stranger! I know it makes sense, but it's so weird.
To my single, busy professional women who have a hard time meeting like-minded, equally yoked, marriage-minded men, I have the perfect platform for you. My name is Allison Wellington, certified dating and relationship coach, and I primarily work with busy professional women to teach them how to get into the best relationships of their lives in 6 months or less. Now, you need to be on the free platform, which is called Eventbrite. On Eventbrite, you're going to create an account, and then you'll be able to filter and sift through the types of events that, one, you find entertaining yourself, but two, would allow for you to be around like-minded, equally yoked, marriage-minded men who want the same things as you. you. So your next best step is to create an Eventbrite account, EVENTBRITE.com. Or if you have one, log in. You're going to go into the settings and you're going to check off the types of events where like-minded men are, and then you are going to show up, and then you are going to show out. You're welcome in advance. Have a nice day.
You know, a lot of these guys see a woman demanding everything and then having a bad attitude. And that's what you offer, is a bad attitude. So when you have that type of output or that type of result, that action, then a lot of men are going to start choosing to opt out.
Australian men have a lot of work to do. In America, the bar for how a man pursues a woman is just higher. So they have to show up, plan dates, put in real effort, as if they don't, someone else will. Here in Australia, the bar is so low that no one has to try. Women here, including women that have moved from other countries, all say the same thing. Australian men put in the least effort than they have ever experienced. It's what dating is like here. And we need to stop accepting it like it is the weather.
Well, maybe the Australian men just don't find you that attractive. Are American men the standard? And if so, why don't you just go there and date them? We got ladies coming from other countries saying, my country, the men come up to me, but in Australia they don't. So there's something wrong with Australian men. Like, I don't want to call anyone a narcissist, but this is secretly thinking you like the Aussie guys and they're not giving you the desired outcome. If the other guys around the world are so good, why do you complain about the guys who aren't doing the right thing? That could be a problem. Just a suggestion.
One of these modern women don't really understand is y'all spend a lot of years saying a lot of things, and then a man says, oh, okay, well, if that's what you're going to be saying, then, you know, I'm going to go ahead and get out of Dodge. And then you're going to act shocked. A lot of modern women don't really think that their words and their actions have consequences. They really think, yeah, I can go in here and talk crazy and nothing's going to happen.
When the man opens up, when he really opens up, don't you use what he said when he was open to prove a point when you want to win an argument. You will never hear the full story from us ever again. And we'll start to say stuff like this. How are you? Good. I ain't good, but I just ain't telling you. Women, let me tell you something. Men are not emotionless. We have deep emotions. We just don't know how to express them. And let me tell you, if you make us feel unsafe, you'll never hear from us again. If I tell you something in a moment of vulnerability and you use it against me in an argument, you can forget me talking to you forever. And you keep talking about he quiet, he shut down, he's in his man cave, he won't open up, because when he did open up, you shut the door on him.
Do y'all think that women are still womening?
Nah, and that's good. It's good? It's mad good.
Tell me more.
Because we had created these social norms that made women doormat for financial reasons. Like,
True.
A man could go do this, but bring home the bacon. I don't eat pork.
Give you the beef.
That's all they got. And it's not even good.
So what is the new look for women then?
Men with a man.
And then so the men are what? The fire.
Chill.
Y'all take care of everything.
Need somewhere to
all
live.
we gotta do is
sensitive, so sensitive. You don't want to hurt their feelings. You got to give them a phone number or they you. We have to cradle their feelings because they're so explosive.
Men don't man anymore. 35 and less.
Not even younger, but less, because that's just who y'all are.
They're less than.
all right, that means y'all get to take care of us.
It's
y'all
happening.
Get to do
But the problem is that men are not realizing that y'all not the men of yesteryear. So when we start treating you like the that y'all act like, you gotta own your position. Like, understand that you can't tell me kitchen. You gotta go to the kitchen because you the in the house.
You know, once these modern women really understand that you've talked so much, that you've talked yourself out of a relationship, and you think that, here's what modern women think. They think they're going to be able to talk crazy, talk themselves out of a relationship, but that's okay. I messed that up. I'm going to be able to talk myself back into one. Sometimes with the same man, and he going to take me back. Not for a lot of these men.
Here's another example of why women are the problem sometimes.
So women are like, when we go to the gym, the men stare at us. The men stare at us. We don't want you to stare at us.
I just watched a video of a woman doing calisthenics and nothing but a crop top and skin tight booty shorts. And there was 3 men around her, and the entire minute video, none of them looked at her. They didn't give a single what she was doing, okay? And so I noticed it naturally, right? And so I went to the comments, and every female in that comment section is like, but no one looked? Oh, so now you want them in to stare at you at the gym? That's a little hypocritical. It doesn't make a lot of sense, does it? No, it doesn't. How about you just go to the gym and everyone there is minding their own business? Like, if people stare, people stare. If they don't, like, whatever, big whoop. People are there to fight their own demons. They're not there to, like, oh my God.
And another thing that modern women try to do, and this is why some of their lists are so long, is they want to make a man feel obligated to fix a lot of the nonsense that they created, that they got into before they got into a relationship with that man. And that's not really even his responsibility. That's your responsibility. Y'all say y'all done the healing work, so I should see the fruit of that. I should see the profit from that. But you know.
A quick question. Where are we meeting the men that actually want to date and be in a relationship? Because it's not the dating apps. It's not the coffee shops. I've been trying that. I've been trying that for a while now. Definitely not the bars. Not at my age, because they're all like 21, 22, so they definitely don't want to be in a relationship, and I definitely do not want to be a cougar. Nothing wrong with that, just not my type. I, again, tend to go about 8 to 10 years older than me. I found out even those don't want to date for a relationship. Even they are still figuring things out. Yeah. They are. So where are we meeting the ones that want to date and be in a relationship? That want to date to eventually get into a relationship? That are dating to see if we're compatible for a relationship, not other things. No. I need to know because I have yet to find them. And I've been looking, so maybe I should stop looking. I don't know. But if you know, please let me know. Help your girl out. Where are we meeting the good men? Where are we meeting the men that actually want to be in a real relationship? Let me know.
Once again, a lot of these modern women are talking about, oh man, men are giving up. And even some of these men in some of these documentaries talking about, oh, a man's giving up. No, a man has decided to pursue peace in his life. He's decided to do things that are not going to cost him a lot of time, a lot of heartache, a lot of foolishness. Why don't you ever speak to that? Why don't you ever say, well, maybe men are opting out because there's too much of a demand with too little of a return? Why don't y'all ever?
I have this eternal struggle where it's like, I want my husband to be the provider, make all the money, pay all the bills, do the adulting things, fix everything around the house, take care of my car, take the trash out, make all the plans, handle our finances. So basically do everything while I just lie around and only do things when I feel like doing them.
See, some of y'all may think this is satire or that they're just doing it for views. But I've been noticing more and more, this is how a lot of these modern women look at life and how they feel about men. See, when they claim that they want a traditional man, they only want that man for the benefit that they can get from that traditional man. But in return, they don't want to do traditional things. Like if you think about it, even when they make money, they still want the man to pay for everything. So that way that they can save their money. But now they're taking it to a point to where they don't even want to do the housework. So you have to pay all the bills while they sit at home and do nothing. And hear me out. As a man, if this ever happens to you, it is 100% your fault. Because the only way this can happen is if you allow it.
Little trick. Men are visual creatures, right? We all know that by now. So this is not for the first date, or it might work, first date, second date. But this is for maybe fourth, fifth date. Say he's bringing you around his friends. Say he's bringing you to an event. Say you guys are in a situation where you are going to be around other people, mingling and stuff like that. Some women get so nervous and they get socially anxious and they won't talk to anybody unless they're introduced to them. I need you to fight through that feeling of insecurity and do what you need to do to be the light of that room. Introduce yourself to strangers. Talk to people. He will be observing you. And men fall in love through observation. They fall in love when they see you talking to the waiter. They fall in love when they see you being so sweet to somebody because, I don't know, you saw some toilet paper on the shoe and you're like, girl, let me get you, right? They fall in love through observing your behavior without them being in the picture. And this is all psychology. Men fall in love through observation.
Do not make a man your whole world, and do not make marriage your entire identity. As a divorce lawyer, I've seen what happens when women build their entire sense of worth around one person and one title. Somewhere along the way, women were sold this idea that the ultimate success was becoming someone's wife. That once you had the ring, the ceremony, the shared last name, you could finally exhale. But here's what no one tells you. Marriage is not a personality. It's a partnership. And if it becomes the only thing that defines you, it will be the first thing that destroys you when it shifts. Because when you make him your everything, you lose the parts of yourself that were never meant to be given away. Your dreams shrink to fit inside his schedule. Your goals take a backseat to his career. Your voice gets quieter so he can feel heard. And when the relationship cracks, you're not just grieving him, you're grieving the version of you that disappeared in the process. I've had women sit in my office, not devastated over the end of a marriage, but completely unsure of who they are without it. They stopped cultivating their own life, their own friendships, their own financial power. They outsourced their identity to a role they thought would last forever. Love can be beautiful and marriage can be meaningful, but it should add to your life and not erase it. So keep your friends, keep your hobbies, keep your financial independence, keep your ambition, keep your fire, because no matter how much you love someone, you still need a world that belongs entirely to you. You are not just a partner, you are a person, and the best relationships are the ones where you get to be both.
All right, so we are living in the ratchet tax economy. Now, what is the ratchet tax, you may ask? The ratchet tax is the amount of more money that you have to pay to avoid being around ratchets because they seem to be everywhere nowadays. For example, when you go to Ruth's Chris, a ribeye is about $69. If you go to Smith & Wollensky, that same ribeye is about $99. Now, you are going to Smith & Wollensky instead of going to Ruth's Chris because the ratchets have found Ruth's Chris. So when you go to Smith & Wollensky, because the ratchets do not go to Smith & Wollensky, you are paying that extra amount of money for that ribeye to literally avoid being around ratchets. Let me give you another example. In New York City, the ratchets have found every movie theater in Midtown Manhattan, particularly 34th Street or 42nd Street. So if you're going to a movie in New York City, you're going to have to go to Kips Bay. And in order to get to Kips Bay, which has no public transportation, you're likely going to have to Uber there from cross town. So that extra amount of money that you're going to have to pay for an Uber or a cab to get to a movie theater just to avoid ratchets is yet again the ratchet tax. So the next time you find yourself going out of your way to avoid certain places or situations because you don't want to be around ratchets, you're paying the ratchet tax.
But he actually is the voice of reason here. Saying, well, wait a minute, if he's doing all, what? See, these sisters, and you know what's funny about it? You hear some sisters and they're advocates. You hear brothers like Just Mike. I'm not saying him personally, but brothers like them. You know what I'm talking about on social media. You got a lot of brothers on social media doing the Just Mike thing. That is to say, advocating for sisters no matter if they right or wrong. And they'll say words to this effect. These guys want wifely treatment without getting a wife. Okay, fair enough. I'll go along with that. That's fair. You can't expect a sister to cook every day if she ain't your wife. She might do something here and there. If she feel like it, she really like you like that, she might do some special occasion. Cool. Can you expect that on a daily? No. Why? Because she's not your wife. That's fair. Here's the problem. A lot of sisters want brothers to be husbands without really being a husband. Now you want a sister, you want a brother to cover you, give you a covering. That's called getting married. See, in a situation like that, then yeah, that would be the husband's responsibility. The wife needs, a car, oil change, whatever. Yeah, the husband's supposed to take care of that. I think everybody would agree that, yeah. And so on. But y'all ain't married though. I don't even see a ring on that woman's hand. I don't see no wedding engagement ring on that woman's hand. And yet and still, the brother still came up with a C note.
If you are a man over 30, I'm pretty sure you have seen this before. But this was the first time I encountered it, and I was completely taken aback. I made a video saying no one will give you better advice than a man who sees you as his wife. So my friend who's in her 30s and don't typically watch my videos, somehow she watched that one. And she called me to tell me she didn't like it. Not because of the message, but because of one word, correction. She said the word correction made her feel like a child, that no man should correct her. He should advise her. Help me understand where you're coming from. What do you think correction is? And I kid you not, we spent about 20 minutes going back and forth, definitions, explanations, examples, tone, the whole shebang. And at the end of the conversation, after all of that back and forth and explanation, she still said the same thing. The message is good, just not the word. She told me I had to fix the word. And that's when it clicked. I said to her, do you realize what you just did? You manipulated the conversation. You took a message about guidance and growth and you turned it into a debate about a word. Now the focus isn't on the merits of the message. The focus is now on how the message made you feel.
Guys have it so easy in many ways, but especially if they date women, women are so stunning. They're not only stunning, but they have fantastic personalities on top of it. I can't speak for all of them, but I'm just saying, like, I look around me, surround baddies, gorgeous, pretty women, okay? With girls, you find one mediocre, attractive guy who thinks that he's the hottest man ever. They have the absolute worst personality, or they're stupid as hell. And there's really barely any options for us. Like, not that everyone's just dating off of looks, but I'm just saying, like, just basing off of appearance wise, women are just so hot. Women are just so hot. And it makes me so mad that men are out here with mediocre looks and even worse personalities, fumbling baddies. It's because they think the grass is always greener. And also, it's just like, they look around, they have so many beautiful flowers to pick from. Meanwhile, us girls have like nothing. We have nothing to go off of. I'm sorry, that's just like the facts. Because I look around me and I'm like, wow, this girl's hot, this girl's beautiful, this is stunning, this is blah, 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 blah. So I'm like, oh my God, guys are so lucky that everywhere they look, beautiful, gorgeous. We look around, huh? Where did they go? Where's, at least, give me one. Where is one that could be the full package? Where?
This woman sent me a message last night saying like, hey, your content made me realize I was a controlling, anxious woman, and I felt all the time, but it was normalized in my friend group. And that's the thing, is that birds of a feather flock together. And so many women don't know how to relate to one another if it doesn't involve having a common enemy and bashing on other people. And those are the worst types of friendships. They are as stable as a toothpick. And I used to have a friend that hated men. I use that term loosely. It was like a 3-month long thing because we laughed a lot. We had a lot of fun. There was good back and forth, but she hated men and she would trash talk men. And I was like, hey, look, you can hate men, but please don't talk to me about that around me. Like, I don't relate to that. I don't agree with that. And so she actually doubled down and she sent me men hate propaganda in my DMs. And I was like, what the is this? Cut her off so easily. No regrets. But my thing about that is like, the thing about that is that it is a huge problem in society where they absolutely enable women's worst behavior. And it's like, oh yeah, no, you should get everything that you deserve in a relationship just by being pretty, just by being a woman. That's enough. That is not women empowerment. That is women enabling. You are enabling their worst behaviors, the things that are actually keeping them away from the relationship that they want, from the man that they want, by telling them there's something wrong with them and they don't need to change. It's like giving cocaine to a drug addict. You are literally enabling the things that are stopping them from truly getting what they deserve, because that is easier than having a hard conversation and being able to be truthful with a friend, because that's what you would do if you really cared about them.
The hardest marriages for women to leave are often when they are married to husbands who are good guy presenting. And I want to explain this to you because these husbands, they don't yell, right? They don't cheat. They don't disappear. They show up when they're supposed to. They will help if you tell them exactly what to do, when to do it, how to do it every single time, right? They're not necessarily they're not really chaotic. They're not necessarily scary and having, huge outbursts. They're literally just there. And I think for so many women, this is what makes it so hard to name and so hard to leave, because nothing is technically wrong, right? But nothing is deeply right either. Like, he doesn't proactively make your life easier. He doesn't anticipate your needs. He doesn't carry the mental labor with you. He just sits there waiting for instructions, like a puppy dog waiting for a command, right? And when you're exhausted and you're resentful and you're already drowning, this will make you feel like you're crazy, because you have friends whose husbands are way worse than that. You've seen the horror stories, you've seen the TikToks, you know that worse guys out there exist, and your husband isn't necessarily like that. He's a good guy, right? But good guy presenting isn't the same as being an engaged and invested and a participative partner. Bare minimum behavior wrapped in politeness is still bare minimum, and what makes it so draining is that you can't point to one big thing. It's not like one big thing happened in your marriage. It's literally by 1,000 paper cuts. It's that you're not considered without asking. You're never relieved from your duties without delegating to him first. You're never being prioritized without being prompted or reminded. And then you start wondering if you're crazy. You start wondering if you're asking for too much, wondering if you're just too hard to please, if you'll never be happy. But you're not asking for too much. You're not too hard to please. You are literally asking for partnership, but you're getting this passive participation, and you're being expected to tolerate it because it could always be worse.
A lot of men, a lot of these women want men to approach them and want men to, kind of come up to them even if they don't like the man. There's no reason for me to continue. I don't enjoy it. So there's no reason for me to come up to you and get rejected just to make your night and just to make you feel good. What about me? Oh, well, you can, be happy that, in the fact that you made somebody else's night. And the fact that you're going to go online and you're going to laugh at me, you're going to have a laugh at my expense. Why would that make me feel good?